I just rewatched this movie the other day and I was just thinking like, oh, you know what? This could be the perfect movie to talk about on my Halloween special, even though technically it's more thriller than horror, but I think it plays on a good part of the American fear of, not knowing who you're letting in your car. Today, I'm going on my Halloween special. I'll be reviewing the 1986 horror thriller, The Hitcher. The Hitcher, in my opinion, has always been like that original road thriller. I mean, any road thriller that came after this movie probably picked up something from this movie. And it's just like so good. It's really such an underrated masterpiece because when this movie came out, it had mixed reviews. It didn't reach its box office budget, but that's usually what happens with cult classics here and there. It's so underrated and it's so good in my opinion. The movie starts out with this dark and rainy atmosphere, and this young motorist picks up this hitchhiker who is played by Rupert Avert. And as they ride along, the hitchhiker lets on to the young motorist, who is played by C. Thomas Howell, by the way, that the last family who picked him up, he dismembered them, and that he's going to do the same thing to him under certain terms. But the way he lets it on, it's like so ingenious. It's so slow and calm. You can hear the malice in his voice. It's like he's not just going to kill C. Thomas Howell. He wants to break him until he's begging for that. Rutger Hauer, in my opinion, was what made this movie so great. I mean, from the moment he gets in the car with C. Thomas Howell, you know that something's wrong. I mean, C. Thomas Howell is asking him questions, and he never will fully answer anything. He just passes off or says something else or just stays silent. So you know something's wrong there. And it's just that his calmness and his voice, it's just like, it's so chilling and horrifying to the fact that this man is just doing this to him for really no reason at all. My favorite scene in The Hitcher is actually in this diner scene where it's C. Thomas Howell and Rupert Everett sitting across from each other, and C. Thomas Howell has a gun on the Hitcher, and he's saying that he's going to kill him, but the Hitcher tells him that the gun is empty. And when he realizes that the gun actually is empty, the look on C. Thomas Howell's face, how he's just broken inside in just this one moment. He realizes that this guy's never going to leave him alone, not until he, passes his test. You could just actually feel, how broken he was in that moment. One of the most memorable scenes, though, of The Hitcher is when the movie actually went from a road thriller to a horror movie in just one scene. And it was during the final test where C. Thomas Howell and the Hitcher are together in a truck. And the girl is tied in between the trucks, and he's saying that the Hitcher is saying that there is only one way he can save her, and that's by shooting him.
God. You useless waste.
It's so sadistic what happens, and it's just like the whole time the calmness just still stays there, and the malice in his voice, it's like, wow, this is true terror here in a thriller movie. Even at the end of the movie, you still never figure out what their relationship was, or even as to why Rupert Everett was doing this to C. Thomas Howell, or even if he had a reason to do it. It just leaves you with questions. And that's just the best part of all about the ending, in my opinion. The Hitcher is just such an underrated masterpiece that has inspired so much road thriller movies over the years. I mean, if you guys haven't seen this movie, it's one I definitely recommend you watch. Not the 2007 remake, because there was a remake to this movie. I'm talking about this one from 1986.